Hi everyone, welcome to the Envelopes Emmy Contender Series. My name is Yvonne Villarreal, and today we're talking to Yvonne Orji, another Yvonne, who plays Molly, a corporate attorney and best friend to Issa in HBO's Insecure. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Oh my gosh.
So we were talking about our names before we started live here. How often does Starbucks get it right?
I definitely went to Starbucks this morning and had to spell it. It was like a. So wait, it's Evie. No, it's Evan. That is Evan.
Evan a lot. I get
Eva.
Evan. I get Evan, and I get Iran.
That is, wow. I feel like someone's projecting.
So I never go up because that doesn't sound like something I've heard before.
So are you now like Margaret? You're like, you're Star Wars.
I know. I should just come up with like something that works.
Marjorie? Mm-hmm. Yep. It's just like just for no reason.
It's so bizarre.
Guys, it's just coffee. I feel like we should be, let's get this right.
And I always get like accent marks too. Do you get that?
No, with my last name, people always try to like franchise it because it's Orji, and they're just like, Orji, origami. Like, no, it's.
Was it a problem in grade school?
I don't think people knew. When I got to high school, definitely it was like,
well,
well, this is a party. I was like, no, it's actually false advertising. Thank you. Try again next time.
Try again next time.
Yeah.
So you're an Insecure, and obviously the show's through Issa's lens, but what do you think Molly's show would be called if it was through her eyes?
Molly's show would be called Slightly Insecure. like optionally insecure. Like, it's like she has her moments. She has her moments. Or Molly's show would actually be called I Need Help. Like, there's also those moments where like, girl, stop this. You don't have to live like, or actually it'd be called You Don't Have to Live Like This. You don't have to, it's the longest title in TV history. You don't have to live like this.
So that's the spinoff.
That's the
spinoff.
Yes.
Okay.
How I Met Your Mother. You don't have to live like this. Yep. That's it.
That's it.
Just full sentences as TV titles.
Well, take us back. How did you come to know Issa?
So Issa got familiar with me back in 2008, right before I went to Liberia to work in public health. I posted a video because it was right before President Obama got elected. Mm-hmm. But I was in a Nigerian wedding, and it was like I was new to YouTube, but I said, I'm gonna post a video of like, if Obama wins, like Africans from everywhere are gonna come out the woodwork and try to claim him. So because I was already in traditional garb, there was like African music in the background.
Like, this is the opportunity.
Yes, and we were in a hotel that I cheated as the White House. So it was like a long lost relative coming to claim. And it was like, Obama is my brother. Obama is my second daughter's son. And it was just like the most ridiculous thing in the world. And I'm like showing up at the Oval Office. So Issa saw that and was like, oh, this girl's funny. So she like started following me. But I got on the plane and went straight to Liberia like the next day. So I didn't know all of this was happening. Cut to, I come back in 2009, eventually move to LA 2011, 2012, and everyone's talking about Aqua Black Girl. I'm like, well, yeah. I want in on this. I OD on it, and when I finally moved here, I tweet Issa. And I'm just like, hey, girl, like, you're awesome. And in my mind, I'm like, she's following me? How is this? Well,
yeah,
I guess
we're friends, right?
Yes. I was like, well, then I guess we're friends. So I was like, hey, I'm here. We should get together. Then she DMs me and is like, hey, I'm having a party. You should come through. I'm thinking, Twitter is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's bringing people together. Perfect strangers. Mm-hmm. So I get to her party, and her friends are equally like, who's this other black girl? Like, where did she come from? And I'm
They're
like,
hazing? Like,
no.
Can you really be here?
They were just like, this one we don't know, like how,
right.
How Sway, and I was like, Twitter brought us together. She's like, what are you talking about? No, like, I'm not just inviting strangers from Twitter to my house. I was like, well, that makes sense. So please tell me how you know me. And then she told me that she saw this thing back in 2008. I was like, oh my God, like all this time, I was so excited to know you, and I didn't know that you knew me, like,
right.
And then we just kept seeing each other around town, and just really supporting each other, like, as women of color who are trying to create their own content. It was like, I see you, and that was, we just kept seeing each other.
Well, talk about how important that is, that support system, and keeping you going, because so often you feel like, do I keep trying? When is it going to happen?
Well, it's fun. I tell Issa, I'm forever grateful to her because I felt like she remembered me at a time when I felt so forgotten. I'm the encourager in my group of friends. It's always like, we can do it. Just like believe against all hope, hope against hope. Like, it's like, super encouraging. And 2014 was a rough year. It was just opportunity after opportunity kind of like door closed. And I was just like, I think this is called depression. I'm pretty sure this is what I'm going through right now. And I gave God an ultimatum. I was like, you have one more shot, sir. And I was like, who talks to God like this? Me, the crazy African. And I literally.
Sometimes you got to do it to God.
I was like, you know what, sir? I have been good to you. Really, and he had given me the idea for First Gen, which is a show I was creating, but I just kept putting it on the back burner because I was working. You're making money working on other people's visions, and sometimes you have to like let things dry up for you to remember. Oh, like that's right, I have something to be doing, and I just put all my effort into it, and I was like, this is the last thing that I'm going to do before I give up and go back to Laurel, Maryland, where dreams go to die. Sorry. And so as I was working and trying to raise like the $7,000 it took to shoot the trailer and just put all my energy into that, Issa sends me an email January of 2015. We planned on shooting my trailer in February. So she said, hey, it hasn't been announced yet. HBO has picked up the pilot for my show, and I think you remind me of The Best Friend that this show is based off of.
But was that alone like something huge?
That
HBO picking up this show for her?
It was amazing. And then for her, like it wasn't even announced yet. And then for her, because I literally the week before was talking to my roommate Esther, and I said, I know so many people here, and it's like, I'm not looking for a handout, but, everyone sees me perform comedy, and everyone's like, you're going to be great. Like, we're not worried about you. Like, somebody should worry about me. Like,
I'm worried about me, yeah.
And it's like, you see people who are like, girl, you're going to make it. Like, we know it. And I just felt like so many people have opportunities to put me on, and I just feel like they're not for whatever reason. And I remember specifically having that conversation. I was like, but it's okay, because I'm just going to do my own thing, because this is what I'm going to do. And then literally the week later, I get this email essentially saying, no, we haven't forgotten about you. I remember you, and we're just waiting. Because I never did any of the web series, and it was like just waiting for the right opportunity. And because I didn't know how TV worked, I've been doing stand-up for all these years, I was just like, okay, girl, thank you. Yes, let me read the script. I read the script. I was like, oh, God, I want to be a part of this so bad. I'm thinking there's going to be an audition the next day or like the next week. That was January. The first audition was not till July.
Oh, my God.
And so, I just didn't. So I was so glad that it was almost like a seed that was dropped, but then I still got a chance to produce my own trailer and then get David Oyelowo on board to produce First Gen. And then literally 7 months later, the first audition, I book it, and that train starts going. But it was like that seed needed to be planted to just say, hey, people are still thinking about you. We still believe that you're good. So that was very refreshing. So I tell her all the time, I'm like, you remembered me at a time when I felt very forgotten.
So clearly God and Issa Rae are talking.
God and Issa Rae. I think I need a T-shirt that says
they're in communication.
God and Issa Rae. God plus Issa Rae equals Molly.
Yes.
Equals goals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, one aspect that we see on the show with Molly is her trying to navigate the LA dating scene,
Ooh,
which is something you've talked about in your stand-up.
Yes.
Many times. So talk a little bit about that and your identification with that struggle.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is real.
I have a joke about how LA dudes, I get so impressed when a guy allows me to order an appetizer, and it's like this one guy was like, it's not that bad. I was like, you've never been on a date with you people. Then you've never been on a date with another guy, because you're just like, if I get an appetizer, doesn't mean I can get dessert too. Now I'm just so happy where I'm like, listen, I'm going to get whatever I want because I'm hungry and I can afford it now. I used to do foodie calls. It's a thing. When you're super hungry, you don't kind of want to go on a date with the guy, but you're like, I'm so hungry.
But wait,
and I'm
so
broke.
where do you stand? Do you pay half or you expect them?
Here's the thing. If it's a social currency, my time. So you get me, right, for possibly 2 hours. I pay for dinner, okay? So you got the opportunity to be on the other end of dinner with me. You pay. You pay. That's the trade-off you get, sir. It is the trade-off that you get. But I always was that person who did the fake reach. It was I don't want to come back up with money. So stop me before I get to my purse. If this is a courtesy reach, what? I am still reaching. I have kept reaching and oh, this is not going to work.
Where do you stand on the Groupon debate that happened a few weeks back? Did you hear about that?
What is the Groupon debate?
where
We've been filming. I don't know anything that's
where
happening.
girls feel a certain way if the guy uses a Groupon on a date.
I don't mind it because here's the thing. I've been broke. And so I appreciate a crafty, a crafty individual who's like, I really want to spend time with you. I'm also maybe not financially where I need to be. However, I got us. Do whatever you got to do.
Okay.
Like you know what? I'm a frugal African, so I appreciate a man that knows a good deal.
Okay.
Yes.
But so you identified with this struggle of Molly? Like, did you offer anything of?
I tried an app for like 5 seconds. I did, and I just was like, no, like I'm not built for this. It's like two things I know I'm not built for, like dating on apps and being a waitress. Like I tried the Cheesecake Factory for 4 weeks. I was like, no. Like I spent more time like just talking to the patrons, like, oh my God, how's your life? Like what's going on?
What's it like working at the Cheesecake Factory?
That menu is so
It's a lot.
And then like there's things that they don't put on. So if you come in and say like
There's a secret menu.
there's like you have to run triage. Like you're a doctor, like legitimately. And if you're like, oh, can you hold the peanuts? And so it's like now I'm like, do you have a peanut allergy? Because if so, it's actually cooked in peanut oil. So you can't order this. And so like if you don't do this, then I need like an EpiPen all of a sudden because you're going through shock. Like it's too much pressure. And there's a reason I'm not a doctor. I'm not qualified for this. So
but the cheesecake.
And what's funny is the outfits are all white.
And the long apron thing.
The long apron. And I would go to work and my father would see me and he would get so angry. He was like, if you were a doctor, you'd be wearing white to go and save people. But you are wearing white to save cheesecake. Like, he was so upset. I was like, let it go, Dad. Let it go. It's not.
Poor Dad. They wanted you to be a doctor real
by
bad.
any means. And I kept trying to tell him, Dr. Orji is not a good look. It's just not what I think you want from me.
That's like a totally different business card.
I would just have to get married really quickly. Like, change my name, please.
You could play a doctor.
That's what I kept trying to tell them. So I feel like I need Grey's Anatomy to go another 18 seasons.
It's good, yeah.
Or Shonda create the spin-off, Dr. Orji, when duty calls.
Or Issa just decides that Molly needs a career change.
Yeah, she took the bar, and that wasn't good enough. She's an overachieving, suddenly Nigerian character, because this is so Nigerian of us, to be both a lawyer and a doctor.
Doing it all.
Well,
a lot of questions that we got from
the interwebs
was about the friendship between Issa and Molly, especially because it's been so long since we've seen a black female friendship like that. Oof. Talk a little bit about that and why it was important for you and what you remember growing up. I mean, we had like Living Single,
we had the
Different
Girlfriends.
World, yeah.
You had even, go back to Freddie on A Different World. Like, that there were so many relationships and friendships and also like portrayals of women of color like back in the 90s that you're just like, where did
what
that go?
happened?
Yeah. And then now it's just like resurgence of like, hey, black people can be on TV.
Yeah.
It's like, we were on TV. Like, we created the WB, then the CW, then whatever it was called when there was like Singing Frog. It was like, remember the Singing Frog? Yes. So, I mean, when I read the script, I just felt like, oh, this is so much fun. Like, and I think that one time I did get a chance to go to Issa's for game night, I saw how she interacted with her friends. So even the scenes where they get into a fight or they're cursing each other out, I was just like, no. Like, that's just how they talk. Like, that's just the level of friendship. That's the deepness that they have. It's this sarcastic, I love you so hard that I'm going to call you on the carpet, but, I'm not going to let you stay in your mess for so long. But even if you are in your mess, we can bounce back because we're really friends. And that was the heart of it all, and also that they were beautifully complicated, like both of them. Like Issa is not insecure or awkward when she's rapping.
Right.
And I was like, you rap in the bathroom mirror. Like, you got bars, And then Molly is great at work and horrible at love. And not horrible at love, just is not well-versed on the social cues that are forever changing in the game of love. Right? And so to see their yin and yang, because really that's what it is. Like, it's ebbs and flows. Like, when Molly's insecure, Issa's secure for her, and vice versa. And I think that we all have that friendship. And there's a GIF or something on social media that's out. It's like behind every strong woman there is like a group text that's like lifting her up, which is so true. I'm part of the West African Voltron.
Okay.
Yes. It includes like, Bozema, Lovey, Cynthia Reeve. Like we're all just like.
How do we get on that? I want to see this.
Such like
Maybe you'll show me after we're done.
What we talk about so much. And then it's like all of us like, Lovey, you're on the cover of Essence. Cynthia, you were great in the Tony Awards. Both, congratulations on Uber. Like it's like, wow. You can't, like if you're on this text chain,
it's uplifting.
You're
not
can't
tearing
take a nap.
each other down.
You can't take it because like the next day it's like 150
texts.
Like, what happened? What did I miss? Who else is in the news today? And it's really inspiring because you're just like, you know what? I should do more. I should do better because clearly people out here getting Tonys. Okay. Oh,
you might get an Emmy.
From your mouth. Yvonne
to Yvonne.
Do you know something I don't?
How about, I mean, as the season continued, near the end of the season, there's this epic fight between Issa and Molly.
Episode 7.
Yeah. And it revolves around therapy and this talk about, seeking help. How did you feel about that going there, which is something I know in the Latino community, it's sort of like taboo to go there, but how?
Well, I was so excited that we went there. What I love that the show does, it alley-oops topic, like even with the Jared thing and like, is he homosexual? Is he not? How do you feel about this? And it never gives you like a right or wrong answer. It's literally, what would you do? And the writers are so smart. They're like, we're just gonna live it up and we're not gonna put any sauce on it and see where it goes. But I have a master's in public health, and so when I worked overseas, there was definitely mental health challenges that really needed to be addressed, but it's one of those things that you can't measure. And so a lot of times in public health, mental health is the one thing that like we don't do a lot because it's expensive, and how do you know when someone is healed or whatever? You just can't. It's not the same as like, oh, we gave 100 mosquito nets, and guess what? Malaria went down. Like, you can't do that.
Right.
And then also in the Black community, there's this, well, if you just go to church. Like, I don't know about somebody else.
Church fixes everything.
Church fixes, and I love me some Jesus. Y'all, we are homies.
Except when you're mad at God.
Except for when I gave him an ultimate. That one time, Lord, I mean, we cool now, right?
Yeah.
You know I love you. I just be saying that to get you. I be joking. You made me a comedian. What do you expect? Yes, and so, in the Black community, it's like, just go to church, girl. Just go to church. And yes, religion and faith and spirituality are definite pillars that can help you get out of a lot of things. Like my depression definitely was lifted because I was like, we done come too far, and it worked. However, I also think that it is not wrong to seek professional counsel. Like there are people who go to school to help assess what your issues are. And I don't think that should be a thing that's shameful.
Right.
I think it's like optional, the same way like you can go get fillings, or you can use your natural nail, or you can go get extensions. It's like, or you can be natural, or you have options in life of what you can do to your outward body. So then I feel like you should, also have options on like how you can get your insides, like to be your best, the best version of you that you can be. And I think Molly presents that notion of, I don't know, like, is this wrong? Like I'm so upset that you would think that I need professional help because, also women are so used to be called crazy. Like the first thing like a man says, if like you're acting real crazy, why am I crazy? Like
don't call me that. Don't say that.
So now it's like, so it's like, if I need to go see a shrink or a therapist, am I crazy? Like I have work in line. Like maybe it's not me that's messing up these dates. Maybe it's these guys. Like, so she's trying to figure out why her best friend would suggest this thing. And also she clowns the girl Crystal. Because she was like, oh, Crystal's doing the most. Like now she looking all effervescent, but like, and even like that, I love that the writers were just like, when Crystal starts talking about like just being so free about therapy, Molly's like, you don't have to tell me. Like it's okay. Like you don't have to share if you're not comfortable.
You don't want to,
And she's like, what are you speaking about? Like I'm okay. And I guess Molly just can't seem to get that. But I love that the tweets came from like all different types of professional therapists who were like, we can help. We can help you, Molly. Molly, we got you.
We got
I was like,
you.
also, she's a fictitious
Come in
character.
for
Also a fictitious character. Like, Yvonne is okay. But I actually did. I went to therapy. I did, just because I was like, I think I want to talk to somebody about a couple of things. And it was fine. And it was like, great.
And then you're like, whatever.
And I'm good. But it's like, it was like a well-balanced thing. Because sometimes you can talk to your family. Or sometimes your family is the reason that
Just
you
need like a impartial third party.
An impartial third party. And
or
so,
second part. I don't know.
Impartial party. How about that? We'll just, because clearly the two Yvonnes can't count.
We can't
it's
do
an
it.
impartial party of five. No, that was a TV show. What?
Wait, what about Molly and her workplace dynamics? Especially we see with, is it Rashida?
Rashida.
Have you been in that situation where you're sort of asked to be like the black translator, or
black.
are you asked like to tone it down or play it up in auditions?
Well, auditions. It's like, I love going out for like African roles. Because they never want, which Africa, which specific part of the continent would you like? Because I'm West African. And we are colonized by the British. So we actually speak English, guys. Like, what would you like me to give you? Because this is also Africa. Or it's just like they have this. I remember a friend of mine was like, I need to know this like Nigerian accent. So I'm giving him like the authentic African accent. And after a while, I was like, I think I might be messing you up because I feel like they're going more like Kwame, Captain Planet, like wind, water, earth. Like I feel like that's what they wanted, and I might be giving you too authentic. I apologize. You're not gonna get this job because I'm actually giving you the real, and they want the Capri Sun version. So there is that, and then there's also times like you'll go for an audition. And it's like, oh, they might want a black person for this. And you're like, oh, great. When you read the script, and you're like, what black person says any of this? And it's very clear that they wrote it for a non-black person. And we're just like, we got like 4 white people in this. We got to get a black person. But like didn't edit it, didn't like augment it. So there's that moment of, hey, and it's like, how do you ask, hey, can I be black when I do this?
Right.
Or do you just want me to be like Hillary Banks? Like, what do you
want?
And it's so awkward because you don't insult anybody, and then you also are like, do you want me to take liberties to like black up your script, or do you just really want me to keep it right here? Also,
what do you want?
Also, Black Twitter's gonna come for me if I do this without making this black. So maybe I pass. So there's so many there's so many nuances and new levels, and sometimes it's not just about like, well, we got a black person. It's like, yeah, but like we've seen so much authenticity in black with shows like Queen Sugar, with shows like Atlanta and Insecure, Greenleaf. Like there's so much.
It can be done.
It can be done. So
and
when
it should be done. Yeah.
So when you see authentic black and then you are presented with inauthentic, it's almost like I'm not gonna be able to do this because I tasted the promised land. Like it's like I've been to the mountaintop. There's no going back down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's weird. I don't know what I would do. Do you just pass?
I mean, there's so many different reasons for going in for an audition, right? So it's like you may not like the material, but you're like, I like the auspices that are involved, and it's a new casting director, so let me just go in and like meet the people,
right?
And then should you be offered the part, then that's when like
then we have the talk.
Like, hey guys,
we have the talk.
So glad you like me. However. Got a couple questions. But in the initial phase, you're just like, you're meeting people, you're networking. It's like you're networking at the same time. Like and it's also good practice to just go into different rooms and meet new people.
We had a question about, because on the show you say, these are your picks. TLC, Jodeci, 702, Drew Hill, and Escape.
Ooh.
What are yours?
My top 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Total. Are we doing girl groups or just like groups in the 90s?
Groups in the 90s.
There's Total. TLC is there. I definitely had the VHS of the ooh on the TLC tip video. and it had like the making of like baby, I sing for no reason because I can, but I still do. Okay, so Escape, TLC.
He said Total.
Yes, Total. Almost just anything Bad Boy. Like literally I went to the Bad Boy reunion and I was like Harlem Shaking forever. Like I had a show. I needed a massage the next day. Like Mace, Mary J. Blige, Little Kim.
Mace, I love
Listen, Mace, Samantha. Like I had the Harlem World album and it was so glorious. Okay, so wait, Total, Escape, TLC, 2 more. I'm trying to keep it in the girl group family. I almost want to do Brownstone and Changing Faces just because, but nah, I don't think they're the last 2. Let me see. Oh wait, DMX is there. Like DMX, like 1998 DMX.
Okay.
Because I thought I was a dog. Like Riders. I was like, I love it. This is my real life right now, guys. And I'll just go Tupac because I'm like in my mind like round and round. Round we go. Like, that was my joint.
Are you going to see All Eyes on Me?
I am. It's coming out this weekend.
Okay.
So I'll just, run it up. 2 guys and 3 girls. Yes.
Talk a little bit about First Gen before we...
First Gen. It is like the heartbeat like of my heart right now. It is the thing that I'm so excited for it because should it make it to air by the grace of the Father, it would be the first time that we see an African family represented as just normal people on mainstream American TV. And that's important to me because, like, when you see Africa, you see Africa represented on TV, you see, like, Hotel Rwanda. We get it. There have been wars. However, or it's, like, Coming to America. Very good movie. However, Zamunda is not real. And I just want us to be like the neighbors next door. When you look at Nigerians who have been in the news, the last 3 students to get into all 8 Ivy League schools, Nigerians. And like, it never surprises me. I'm like, oh, another one. It's okay. Like, it's like you're groomed to be a doctor, engineer. Like, I get it. So that's the kind of stuff that we're looking at. Or now in sports, like Andre Iguodala, like there are so many Nigerians in so many different fields. We're your kids' best friends. So it's like, wow. And also, too, I think when people see black, they're just like, black. And it's like, there are different shades and there's different, like, black experiences. And I want to highlight, like, hey, Blackish is a show that I watch. Blackish and, like, the Carmichael Show are shows that I watch to, like, understand more about the black experience because I'm like, that wasn't necessarily mine or talked about in my house or like how we dealt with different things. So I'm watching it as a black person, how somebody would see me as a black person in America and be like, you get this, right? I'm like, to an extent, and I'm still learning. So the same way I want First Gen to come out to be like, oh, wait, all black people aren't alike? Like, oh, like, so there's Africans. And then also, like, within Africa, it's like all West Africans aren't alike because there are some that speak French, and there's some that it's like colonialism at its finest. But
you cold called David Oyelowo.
Yes. So after we released the trailer and it kind of like went viral and like different outlets were picking it up, me and my 2 producers, Kay Oyegun and Marquita Bradley, we were just sitting around. We're like going through the list of like Nigerians that we wanted to like maybe associate ourselves with, like that were big at the time. Because again, this was pre-Insecure. There was no Molly. And Marquita was like, well, why don't we just call David's manager? And I was like, ma'am, I'm not quite sure how Hollywood works. Pretty sure we're not going to pick up the phone and just like randomly hit his manager up. And she was like, well, why not? Let's try it. I got favor. And I was like, well, then let the Lord use you. And so she called, and Glenn, David's manager, was like, why don't you like hold off on sharing this with someone else? And so, we were like, well, we're going to have to cap this off at like 2 days because, we have other people interested. We literally played a chess card that we did not have. We're like, we're showing it to other people. He's like, calm down.
Calm down, yeah.
David's going to watch, we'll get back. And David called us while he was still filming Queen of Kotwe.
Wow.
Had a conversation with us and was like, I'm very interested. I'm very excited. I would love to be a part of this. And we're like, hey, what world is this? And he's been the best big brother to shepherd this to the right places. And So we're hopeful.
Hopeful.
We're hopeful for it.
Well, let's end things with a lightning round. If you're ready,
Lightning round.
get ready.
Okay.
Last show you binge watched.
Ooh, The Handmaid's Tale.
It's
Yes.
like the trend here.
Is it? Oh,
What
should I take it in
no,
this-
I love it. What show that you love would you want to sit and watch someone else enjoy for the first time?
Ooh, I know this one. Cause I'm always telling some. Wait. I'm just gonna go chewing gum on this one.
Okay.
Chewing gum.
All right. I haven't.
Have you not seen
No.
chewing gum? You gotta see
Okay.
chewing gum. I'm gonna watch it, Yvonne,
Okay.
as you watch chewing gum.
If you could go back and be on any classic show, what would it be?
Ooh, I want to be on a different world. I want to
Yeah.
know. I want Shaza. Like I want to see Dwayne Wade and
Yes.
and
Glasses.
yes, I want to be on that campus. Yes.
What genre would you like to try?
I'm too afraid to try like scary movies. I can't. And I kind of do drama. Genre.
Sci-fi?
I would. You know what? Sci-fi.
Sci-fi?
Yes.
Okay.
Cast me to play an X-Men or Black Panther 2. I'm African too. There's got to be room for me in said fictitious African nation. Okay?
Walter White or Tony Soprano?
Walter White. Yeah.
What was your first acting job and what did you learn that you are still using now?
I was a intern in the writer's room for this show called Love That Girl that Martin Lawrence was producing on TV One, and they knew I kind of wanted to be an actress, and so they were like, well, you can audition for this like bit role, and I did, and I was like, it was like written like just very straight, and I was like, can I make her really a little bit more ridiculous and like make her African? And like I just happened to have like a scarf that day, so I put a scarf on my head, and like I started improvising, and they were just like, so I guess the character's Nigerian now, guys. And what I learned was just trust your instincts. Trust your instincts.
Well, that's a good note to end this on.
Yeah.
Well, Yvonne.
Hey, well, Yvonne.
Thanks so much for joining us
That's
today.
the next segment. It's like, well, Yvonne.
Well, Yvonne, back to you.
Between two Yvonnes.
I like
Between
that.
two Yvonnes.
Perfect. All right.
Yes.
That's the next show you could pitch to David. For everyone, thanks so much for joining us. If you want to check out more of our Emmy chats, head over to latimes.com. Thanks.
Hey.